You know, when it's locked in season, that means that it got to be cut off season too. If you locked in right now and you ain't cutting off nothing, then what type of progress are you really making? Progress is not just about what you're doing. Progress is also about what you're not doing. If you say that this is a season where you locked in, then there should be a lot of things that you should not be doing no more. Things that you were doing in your old season, a life that you was living in your old life. The things that you was doing that represent your old ways. There's no way you brought that into 2026 and thought that you was going to have a better year than 2025. There's no way. There's no way that you bring it into that type of energy. You going into that type of energy where you know you got to be locked in, where you know that times are changing, with a mindset of weakness, with a mindset of I'm going to keep on repeating the same habits over and over again. You got to get yourself right. You got to get yourself right. You got to get yourself right. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that can do the work. You're the only one that can make progress. You're the only one that can change your life. You're the only one that can cut off the things that you know you need to cut off. It's cut off season. You still hanging around the same people that's not really doing the things that they need to do with their life. It's cut off season. You still doing things that you know you're not supposed to be doing. As soon as you wake up, you're smoking and baking, you're slowing down, you're not getting nothing done, you're not being productive, you're not on your purpose. I'm not telling you what to do, but the moments in which we choose to do things and how often we choose to do them most definitely impact you more than you think. So I ain't telling you what to do, but the volume, if you could fix the volume, if you could turn down the volume on habits that you know you need to cut off, maybe you can actually cut them off. Maybe you can actually get rid of that addiction or get rid of that bad habit. Maybe you'll actually be able to kick the things that you know you need to kick. But a lot of us, we keep kicking the can. We keep kicking the can. I said the can. Oh my God, I'm locked in right now. My bad, y'all. We keep kicking the can down the road. Yeah, let me slow down a little bit. I was speaking fast, I know. I'm passionate because I want to see us live a good life. And I know that we are only a couple of things away, only a couple of steps away. We think that greatness is far away. Nah, what made Michael Jordan great was that he was in the gym for just a couple more hours. Just a couple more hours. Everybody in the gym for 5 hours. He's in the gym for 8. He's in the gym for 7. That's what makes the greats great. When Usain Bolt, shout out to Jamaica, man. You know, I'm Jamaican. I got on the Rasta beanie right now. You know, we got the dreadlocks tucked in it, okay? Usain Bolt, when he was running, I mean, think about it. He only beat the other guys by a few seconds, man. By a few seconds, my guy. Come on, my guy. Only by a few seconds, family. What am I trying to say? It's all about the little things. It's right there. Just make a switch in your life. Just the atomic habits, the small things that we overlook. Just make those changes. Get rid of things. Cut things off that you know you're not supposed to be doing. Cut off the negative talking. I made a video the other day about stop talking negative to yourself. Cut that off. Cut off these bad habits that you do internally and externally. And I promise that you'll see change. I promise that you'll see growth. Even if you just cut one of those things off. You got to cut something off in this season. It's cutoff season. It's cutoff season. And that means that you got to start cutting on some effort as well and putting in some work. Being in the gym, like I said, for a little longer than everybody else. Locking in for a little longer than everybody else. You running a marathon, you go just a little bit longer. You pushing weights, you go just a little bit longer. Because it's going to teach you something that comfort can't. You got to get a little bit uncomfortable to grow. You're going to have to cut off a lot of stuff so you can cut on the right things, so you can cut on the right habits, so you can cut on the right efforts. And I'm going to tell you a right effort that I made last year that absolutely changed my life, because it taught me that life doesn't have to always look the way that you think it has to look. You don't have to do what everybody else does. You can kick habits and you can pick up something new. You can cut something off and you can cut on something new. So I'm excited to talk to you about today's sponsor, Kava Haven, man. Absolutely love your drink. It's cutoff season, man. So I asked myself, what am I going to cut off? I'm going to cut off liquor because alcohol is making me bloated. Alcohol is making my face bloated. And for the past almost a year, bro. I've been using Kava Haven, man. It helps you relax. It tastes so good. You would think that you drink alcohol, but you actually drinking something from nature. And for me, what's so important is that I want to start living a more holistic life. I want to start living a more natural life. I want to start taking my health into serious consideration. I'm 24, but I'm only getting older, and there's people in their 20s, there's people in their 30s that's catching cancer. So I'm not going to tell you what to drink, but I'm definitely going to encourage you to try Kava Haven. I typically do it with some strawberry juice, and it goes very well together. And sometimes I even drink it by itself because it actually has a nice taste, in my opinion, by itself too. Try it out. Exclusive deal for Purpose Driven Family. 15% off your first try of Kava Haven. I can't wait for you to try it. I'm excited for you to put something else into your life, into your diet, into your consumption. You can scan the QR code right here, and you can also click the first link below. Again, it's cutoff season. We're not just cutting off people, okay? It's not about cutting off people. It's about cutting off anything that's stopping us from being our greatest potential. Once you understand that you gotta cut off things that are no longer serving you, you enter a new stratosphere in life. A new stratosphere in life because you enter a new mindset, because you walk with a different energy, because you're doing things with purpose. I was talking about this the other day on our Purpose Driven live stream. You guys know that we stream very often now, right? And I think that is very beautiful because we have to be a community that stays connected. And we talked about this. We talked about the power of one. And what's so great about that topic is once you understand how one thing can change your life around and make you change other things and make you evolve and make you grow, then you start to do the things that you know you need to do to really lock in and get you to the levels that you want to reach. It's the power of one, cutting just one thing off and looking at it from the perspective of I'm here to grow. Once you understand that, you grow much more than you think. Once you understand that, you lock in on a whole nother level. Once you understand that, you start to make the necessary changes that you have to make in your life. You have to understand that cutting things off is only going to bring things towards you. And it could be a very positive thing because in order for you to have things and opportunities and new people coming towards you, you have to make space for that. You have to get rid of the things, people and places and habits and thoughts and perspectives, all of those things, every aspect of life. You got to get rid of the negative things of that. This is not an attack on people. We're talking about energy, right? How much of your day is filled with positive energy versus how much of your day is filled with negative energy. And I just want y'all to get a little bit more on the positive side because family, the world is so negative. That's what we're talking about. That's really what I mean when I say cut certain things off so you can cut certain things on. I want you to get on a higher frequency. I want you to get on a higher energy. I want you to start living in a higher way. I want you to start experiencing higher levels of thinking, higher levels of wisdom, higher levels of thoughts. And you're not going to be able to do that if you're always around the lower levels. You got to position yourself to be around the right groups of people. You have to position yourself to be around the right energy. Not because you're better than nobody. You're not better than anybody. This is not about ego. This is about the spirit needing to live a life that it needs to live. It needs to grow. It needs to evolve. It needs to get uncomfortable. It needs to shed the old skin so it could put on the new. It needs to keep on growing. We're just like a tree. And sometimes in life, I feel like we're stunting our growth because we're not collecting the wisdom that we should, the nutrients that we should. Just like a tree needs nutrients, our mind needs nutrients too, bro. Our mind needs nutrients. You have to start being willing to take in positive information, to take in the sunlight, to take in the wisdom, to build a relationship with yourself and God, meditate, read books, all the things that we talk about on this channel. Those are the sources of light. Those are the things that you need to do in order for you to continue being the person that you need to be and being on the path that you need to be on. Those are the things that you need to be focused on, nothing else. We have to get to a point where the negative habits start to go lower and the positive habits start to grow. We have to get to a point where we actually start to change our lives. We have to get to a point where we're not afraid to cut somebody off because they disrespect us, or because they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't respect you the way that they should, or they're not really being productive. And I don't just mean productive in an external sense. No, productive in, yo, let's talk about things that matter. Let's have some more depth to our conversation. Let's make sure that we're checking in on each other's mental health. Like that's productivity too, because that's going to help you to be the best version of yourself. You see what I'm saying? And you want to be around people that's checking in on you. They don't have to be perfect, but also make sure that you're checking in on people. Also make sure that you're doing the same things that you want others to do for you, because when you do that, you'll see more of that. You see what I'm saying? That's just how it works. That's just how it works. And I want you to see more positive things in your life. Because like I said, we're seeing a lot of negative things. We're seeing a lot of negative things in the world. But how can we even talk about the world? And I know this is hard. I know this is hard to understand, because I know we might be very passionate about things that's going on in the world, you know, and we should be. We got a lot of thoughts and opinions on what's going on in the world, and we talk about them a lot, and we should be. But I'm here to just gently remind you about the problems that we have to face on the internal, you know, the things that we're going through in our life, the responsibilities that we have. Let's make sure that we're showing up for that each and every single day with as much joy and as much gratitude as possible, no matter how hard that is. Just try your best to do that, because that's life as well. That's your life. That's your life. It's not just world news, or it's not just about what's going on in somebody else's life. Sometimes we have to cut those things off just for a little bit, so you can connect with yourself and you can appreciate the life that you do have, so you can appreciate the blessings that you do have. You don't want to overlook your blessings. You don't want to overlook your blessings. You don't want to overlook your life. And that's why sometimes we have to cut off the distractions. Sometimes we have to cut off other people's problems, man. We can't solve your problem. You know, I'm still trying to solve my problem. You have every right to say that. That doesn't make you a bad person. That don't make you a bad person. That don't mean that you neglecting nobody, but you have to show up for yourself first, so you can be greater for those around you. Showing up for yourself only makes you greater for those around you. Showing up for yourself only makes you happier for those around you. If people coming to you with problems, you're happy to be a problem solver because you actually want to help them. But if you still have problems that you have to fix for your own self, then how much help can you be to somebody else if you're not even able to help yourself? If you're not able to take your own advice, there's people that give advice all day long, but they don't take their own advice. We have to be willing to take our own advice. I was saying this on the live stream the other day. I was saying how I have to make sure that everything that I'm saying, everything that, you know, we're talking about on this channel, that I'm also doing in my life. You know, I have to make sure that I'm doing that, right? I have to make sure that I'm doing the things that we talk about. I have to hold myself to that standard, because I'm not going to talk about something if I'm not doing it. I'm not a fraud. I'm not a fraud. I'm not a fraud. I'm not going to do that. And sometimes we're frauds on our own life, right? We told ourselves that we was going to cut something off. We told ourselves that we was going to cut off a bad habit, and we disobeyed ourselves. If we disobeying ourselves, of course, we going to disobey God, because that's how that works. You have to obey yourself first. This is something that we're going to speak about very soon. I'm going to make a video about this, right? Because I've never heard it be put that way. And you guys know when I speak, I'm on my notes app. So, I'm not ignoring y'all. I'm right here. I'm right here with you. I just don't want to forget that. See, I just forgot. It just left my mind. Unbelievable. Oh, I got it. I got it back. Don't disobey yourself. Yeah, when you disobey yourself, of course you're going to disobey if God is telling you to do something, or you're getting a download or a calling to be in your purpose and to walk a certain path. You're going to disobey that because you might be scared or you might be fearful. You have to learn to obey yourself, you know, from now, because if you are making statements, you have to see follow through. If you're saying, I'm going to cut off this bad habit, I'm going to cut off the people that is not adding value in my life, you got to be a man of your word. You got to be a woman of your word. Shout out to the queens that's watching. Shout out to my kings, man. Right? My brothers, man. You hear what I'm saying, brother? You have to be able. You got to be able, my brother, to keep your word. Because if you can't even keep your word, then how you going to be able to be trustworthy. You show people how to treat you. You show people how to love you. Hey, if you told somebody, hey, look, you disrespect me, you know, I can't rock with that. You know? And then they disrespect you, they do it again, they cross that line. Are you gonna rock with it? It don't make you a bad person. That's you setting boundaries. It's up to you how much tomfoolery you want to allow, but we all have our breaking point. Just be aware that you're able to cut things off, to cut off things that are not serving you. Because this doesn't mean that we're trying to be transactional, or everything or every opportunity or every purpose has to serve us. No, we aim, I hope, to live a selfless life where you're able to give back. You're able to take care of those that you love. You're able to be on the phone with somebody at 3 a.m. if they need you. Somebody going through something, you're able to be there. Checking in on people that you love, checking in on people's mental health. I think that we do that as purpose-driven individuals. Just the community that I've seen, just the way that you guys are, the comments that you guys leave, the energy that you guys have. You guys are amazing, and I see that. I see it on the live streams. I see it in the comment section. I see it in the way that you guys respond to the videos that I drop. Like, it will be 100% likes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have 100% likes or 99%. Very rarely do we ever drop below 90. We're always at like 99, 97, 100. Like, it's beautiful to see. We're on the same page. This is a real community, and I think that you guys just have to lock in mentally to set boundaries, no matter how hard it is, because you can't let people play with you, and you can't let habits that are self-inflicted or wounds that are self-inflicted that you're doing to yourself mess you up. There's a story of how they try to kill wolves. They don't fight the wolf at all. They put their blood on a knife, and then they plant the knife in the snow like a popsicle. It's a blood popsicle. The wolves come and they could sniff the blood, and then they keep licking the knives with the blood. This is so gruesome. And they start to bleed out because they're licking the knife, and they can't tell if it's their blood or whatever they thought it was blood that they were eating. And they bleed out and they die. And that's how you kill a wolf. And I'm not telling you that so you can go kill wolves. Don't do that. A wolf is my favorite animal. It's one of my favorite animals. I love a lion too. I love a lion as well. But every lion has a wolf season where he's a wolf for a little bit. It's a lone wolf season. We all got those seasons. You got to respect the wolf too. But I say that to say that a lot of our pain that we go through is self-inflicted. We do it to ourselves. A lot of our sin or our ways of life is self-inflicted. And it's up to us to correct those things and just do the best that we can. I don't want you guys to take yourself too seriously, because then you get uptight about life and, nothing is joyful anymore. I want you to be free with life and playful with life. And those are my prayers for you. And I could be wrong, but I think that a life that has a little bit of that, and you're still disciplined and you're still putting in effort and you're still giving it your best, I think that's a beautiful life. And I think that it's a privilege to be alive, even though we're living in some crazy times. We have to remember who's in control, and we have to remain in control of the things and responsibilities that we were told to take control of. And that's why it's important for you to, keep it real and, cut people off if you have to. Just be aware of that option. I'm not condoning to throw away friendships, but this channel is going to remind you constantly that the greatest way to change your life is to focus on yourself. And people who have focused on themselves, they've been able to figure out themselves. They've been able to figure out their purpose. They've been able to figure out who they are, and they don't regret focusing on themselves. They may lose people along the way, but they had to understand their purpose, because they understand that being purpose driven is very important. Knowing why you were created and put on earth is essential. And once you know that, you start to connect with the right groups of people. You start to connect with the right opportunities. You start to connect with like-minded people. It's like life begins again. And in order for life to begin again, sometimes we have to cut off the old life, the old ways of living, so we can go through that transformation and we can see something different, and we can change our lives and create something brilliant. But it begins with us being aware. If the wolf was aware that it was licking a knife, and this wasn't a living being, a living like animal, a living breathing animal, right? Even though objects scientifically still has some energy in it, it's inanimate, but it still has some life force in it, right? Because it's created, it's in reality, it's in this magical thing that we call life. So it has some sort of life to it, but we're talking about a living being, right? In this story time about wolves, which is a true story, we're talking about a living, breathing being. How do you not know that you didn't catch a prey? How do you not know that that's an inanimate object? And it's because they want the blood so bad. And for some of us, we want what we want so bad, but we're not willing to be aware of the things that's actually stopping us from getting it. And I don't want you to fall for fool's gold. I think that the wolf that's licking the blade and doesn't know that it's not a real prey, it's not a real animal. I think that they're blinded. I think that they're blinded because they think that every opportunity is for them. If only they were aware to keep on hunting and find the real thing. We have to keep on hunting. We have to find the real thing. Sometimes we think that the people that we're around, that they're the real thing, or the job that you at, even though you should still be grateful for it. But if you can, pivot, if you want to, right, or figure out what your purpose is and work towards that, that's the real thing. You're pivoting towards the real thing. You're still grateful for where you're at, but you're making the necessary changes for you to live an even better life, right? Like that's all we're doing. We're creating a better life for ourselves over and over again, every single day, and it's gonna come with battles and ups and downs. But keep on creating a beautiful life. Like, keep on going. Don't fall for the fool's gold. Don't fall for the blade in the snow. Find the real thing. Find the real people that you need to be around. Find the real opportunities. Find the real friends. Find the real content that's going to actually change your life. And I hope that this video changed your life today. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can hit the subscribe button, man. I would really appreciate it. I don't ask for much, but I believe that channels like mine, people who are creating positive content that's trying to make a difference in the world, we have to be connected. We have to be able to support them. And I just want you guys to be able to understand that I love you guys. I want to see you guys win. And so you being part of the purpose-driven community, it means the world. All right, I'll catch you on the live streams. Hit subscribe, turn on post notifications, comment down the word below if you watch the full video. Cutting off, right? And then I want you guys to tell me, what is it that you're gonna cut off this season, and what are you gonna cut on? All right, I would love to see it so I could support it and wish you well along this cutoff journey, along this cutoff season.